Kessy Nwankwo was a 19-year-old 200-level dentistry student of the University of Nsukka who mysteriously disappeared on the 5th, 6th, or probably 7th of October 2016. Now, this is not a popular story. It didn't make it to the news or the blogs, and so, depending on who you ask, you might get a different version. Note this. The University of Nsukka Enugu has two campuses, or at least those are the two campuses we'll be talking about regards this story. The Nsukka campus and UNEC, University of Nsukka Enugu campus. These two campuses are nearly an hour apart from each other. Now, at the initial time of his disappearance, we learned that Kessy had gone to squat with a friend at UNEC. Let's call this friend G. Kessy was also looking to find a lodge to stay. He had his eyes on the lodge next to G's lodge, but the room at the time was still being occupied. And as a 200-level dentistry student, a change from Nsukka campus to Enugu campus was mandatory, and so a lot of the students were moving or have moved, and Kessy was just one of them. And I'm guessing it was the beginning of a new session. If you research on this story, you will discover two reports on the date of his disappearance, the 5th and the 6th of October 2016. However, he may have disappeared on the 7th because in a voice note I listened to, it was suggested he vanished on a Friday, which was on the 7th of October. I was confused initially at these multiple dates. I got to learn that the reason why people said he disappeared on the 5th was because his friends at Nsukka campus had seen him last on the 5th, and they had believed he was on his way to UNEC, but never made it there. They probably thought he got lost on the way, or got kidnapped, or got into an accident. It will be confirmed that he did arrive at UNEC on the 5th. Now, if he arrived at UNEC on the 5th, this would mean he probably spent at least a night or two to either disappear on the 6th or 7th. But according to my findings, Kessy most likely disappeared the same day he arrived at UNEC, whether it was on the 5th, 6th or 7th. If you are however very sure of the day, feel free to put it in the comments below, as I am not sure. Like I said, it wasn't a popular story. It wasn't on the news, nor was it on the blog, so the exact day of his disappearance is not certain. What we were told at the time by the said roommate G, whom Kessy had gone to squat with, was that he and Kessy were together in the room. All of a sudden, Kessy receives a call and goes outside to take it. It was said that Kessy acted uneasy, like he was uncomfortable, and went outside as though he wanted to see somebody, and he never returned back into the room. It was believed that G was the last person to have seen Kessy. I got to learn something new, and by something new, I mean something I didn't know about at the time of the disappearance back in 2016. In my mind, I was asking, who was Kessy calling or speaking to? Who did he go outside to see? And why didn't he tell his friend? Why was he acting uneasy and uncomfortable? What was he up to? Did the person he went to see kidnap him? Did he run away with the person? It has to be the person, right? Alright, before we move on, take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification, as there will be another part video of this story and you don't want to miss it. It's also important that you share this video because more than anything, we still need answers about the disappearance of Kessy. Like, this video is far from solving the entire mystery. The video is just to raise awareness and hopefully get someone to say something if they saw something. Now back to the story. The gist that Kessy took a call and went outside to see someone is correct. But that was not the point he vanished. You see, Kessy's plan to squat at G's place would not be successful because G's room would be occupied with a few other people who had equally come to squat. Kessy would ask G to tell his roommate to let him stay. G would not see the need to. Kessy would be uncomfortable with the number of people in the room and the fact that G's roommate hadn't even permitted him to stay. Not like he wasn't feeling welcomed, adding to the fact that G himself was getting ready to leave for Nsukka campus to sell off a property, which means he was not even going to be around for the most part. Kessy would step outside to make a call to another friend. whom he hoped to squat with. This friend we shall call A. A agrees to have Kessy over, and Kessy would leave G's place to A's place at a street or area in Enugu called Abani Road. That sums up the entire gist of him taking a call to see a friend and vanishing, except he didn't vanish because he confirmed that he saw Kessy. Now, this is where Kessy disappears. According to A, Kessy and he, along with a group of friends, had planned to go and eat. Now, I'm thinking lunch, afternoon food as we call it. Kessy would have his bath first and would go downstairs to wait for them. Now, I don't know who this them is, like I've said. A was supposedly believed to be living by himself. However, I want to believe A equally had guests because, everyone was moving. When A and them came down, they didn't see Kessy. They asked around and no one said they saw him. There was no fight, no altercation, nothing. Kessy was gone and no one saw anything. However, there were claims he was taking selfies and pictures because he had just gotten a brand new iPhone. G, who had gone to Nsukka to sell a property, would return by 5 to reach out to Kessy to come back. But Kessy wouldn't pick or return his calls or reply his text. By 8, A will inform G in a group chat that he hadn't seen Kessy, and the next day or the day after, Kessy's mother would call and complain that she hadn't spoken to her son since Tuesday, and thus began the long fruitless journey to finding Kessy. Kessy's father would come to Enugu and the police will be involved. G, A and them would be met by the police, statements will be given, a search party will be held, questions will be asked and nothing will be found. So what really happened to Kessy? Did Kessy run away? Was he kidnapped? Was he used for ritual? It's easy to speculate. I for one suspect a robbery gone wrong because, he was a young 19-year-old boy with an iPhone taking selfies around. Maybe someone had seen him and be like, alright, let's have this, and he probably struggled and things got out of hand. I mean, that is just my imagination. But this is where things get very bizarre, which means a lot of the assumption would not be true if this thing I'm about to tell you is true, because from what I gathered, for 3 good days straight after Kessy's disappearance, his phone rang. You could call him, but no one would pick. His internet data was also on. You could send him WhatsApp messages, he would receive it, but it wouldn't be read, neither would there be a reply. Now, if he was robbed or attacked by anyone, I would believe his phone would have been taken and turned off. Isn't that reasonable? Apparently, the fact that his phone was on for days after he vanished only raises more questions and doesn't help the assumption that he was attacked or robbed. Now, assuming he was attacked, why would anyone want to hurt him? And why would he want to run away? That is, if he ran away like some people speculated. In another video, we will dive into what kind of a person Kessy probably was. Hopefully this would give us an insight on why he may have wanted to run away or why someone may have wanted him dead. So thank you for watching. I do hope you subscribe and share this video. If you have any information or any detail that I might have missed out, please feel free to comment, because like I said, the story wasn't popular, so this is me digging deep by myself. So thank you.
Maybe I'm just a fool that never thought he could lose in the silly game everybody plays and call it love. I never wanted to be here, but you took me by force, and you led me into a storm I might never escape. And then you hit me like thunder, a force that no one can conquer. I never even believed in love, but now I am your slave. Oh my darling Kokoma, Boginami Etima. I don't know if I will ever find the strength to let you go. then I let it slip away. Now every day I go searching for you in some other girls. All my friends try to warn me, but I'm in Kemekendiko. That one day you would just pick your things and walk out of my life. I really hate to think that we were never ever in love. Everything I gave you, but it wasn't ever enough. My heart is breaking from the thought of you in another's arms. The only thing I wanted was to give you all you deserve. I really hate to think that we were never ever in love. Everything I gave you, but it wasn't ever enough. You play my heart like it was just another one of your